Hello, everybody. I will introduce myself. My name is Chief Warrant Officer Marina Roberge. I'm the Rcsu Eastern Region Chief Warrant Officer. We are responsible of 13,000 cadets and about 2,000 adults who are working in our region. We are located in Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu, which is south of Montreal. So I will let Gilles Godbout, Chief Godbout, my colleague, to introduce himself.
Fantastic. Thank you, Marina. I'm Chief Warrant Officer Godbout. I'm a next cadet from the Quebec region. So now I'm the regional chief for the cadet in Ontario. Incredible. One of the little francophones from Quebec made his way all the way to Ontario. And now I have the honor and the privilege to be the advisor to this commander of the cadet in Ontario, a little family of 17,000 cadets and about 2,500 staff. We're situated, our headquarters in CFB Borden in Ontario.
So what we have to do with you today, we were asked if it was possible to create a little video on how to communicate with cadets in a virtual environment. And so we don't have the secret of anything. We have 80 years of expertise behind our career because both of us are about 60. So we have 40 years in uniform, both of us, each of us, I should say, to share with you the tricks, some tools we are going to share with you, how to make your virtual environment training a little bit more relaxed, more dynamic, and we are going to give you some tricks. So, but we are not perfect. We are going to be complementary, you're going to see. And I will just start that every training I do myself, we try to have about 3 objectives. So let's have 3 objectives today. So one will be to put the table, to prepare the table before a meal, okay? And I'm going to explain in a few minutes. And then the second one will be, what's your role? Because it's very simple, your role during a virtual training in COVID environment. And the third one will be how to keep your cadet engaged. How can you make them coming back next week? And I think this is a huge goal you have. So Gilles, I will let you introduce the objective of the day.
So it's important to be interesting. Keep it short. Make the cadet want to come back. So if you make it interesting, you're like a ray of sunshine, you're inspiring, you're smiling, your body language, people will read, they're going to want to listen to you and they're going to be waiting for more words to come out of your mouth. So that's what we're hoping you're going to have for retention of objective after this presentation. I'd like to mention that at the end of the presentation, we're on our page, on our formation page where this presentation will be located. There are also going to be small links below that will allow you connectivity with games online or different platforms that you can use or consider to make your presentation, your virtual presentation, that much better.
So let's start with what I mean by put the table on, put the table, put the set up. So what I mean by that is I want you to be ready. Be ready to have a platform which is easy, friendly user. Don't use too complicated platform. Use something that your cadets are used to, know how to use. And if by any chance, because it happens every day for us, if by any chance there is somebody late coming, just be welcoming, please, because it's surely not their fault if the password didn't work or the platform didn't work. So we want you to be extremely patient and open to your cadets. We suggest that you open your camera. Why? Because the body language with the words are very low percentage. You know, the receptibility of the message is very low with only the words. Because if we calculate the body language, we say that the gesture count for 67, the tone is about 24, and the other one, which is the words, are 7. So if I mimic something to you, I would just say, Gilles, I never told you I hate you. You will not believe me because the words were, I don't hate him, but my body language and my tone were showing absolutely the opposite. So the body language during virtual training is absolutely mandatory for me. I don't like when people has their camera closed because it deprives me from seeing their body language and depriving them to see how engaged I am. So, and the smile, don't forget to smile and don't forget to be enthusiastic when you teach and when you have a virtual training. So Gilles, would you like to elaborate on it?
So Marina talked about the presenter, the body language of the presenter. What I'd like to emphasize about is the body language of the people at the other side. Why are we asking you to activate your camera? Is so the person presenting can understand if you have a hard time comprehending what's being told to you, or your level of interest is not the same. You know, if I'm presenting to you and you're like this, or you look surprised. For me, there's a question mark in your head. I'm saying, okay, what did I say? Maybe I didn't explain myself well. Okay, I'm gonna use different word and see if the person on the other side of the screen is really understanding better now that I explain using different words. So the level of comprehension is much better when you have that personal connection, visual connection with people. Imagine if Marina and I were presenting to you just with sound on a radio. Wouldn't be the same. You
No.
wouldn't see us exchanging, laughing. You know, it would be totally different. So that's important that you pay attention to how you present, that you engage people in a way that they wanted to activate their camera and be inviting. So that's very important that you pay attention to that. The next thing that's important to say, you know, it's a leadership moment. We all know about COVID. It's difficult. People are home. And your job is to make them forget about COVID. So I like to call that a leadership moment. And Marina's going to expand on that.
Yes, because I mentioned that our second objective was the role. And the role that you have, of course, is to be the leader of this group. And for me, leadership is not being in charge, it's taking care of the people you're in charge. And for me, my little request for you is to make it extremely, extremely interesting and motivating and exciting to come to that time that you're having the virtual training, so they will forget what's happening downtown, in the city, in the globe, the global pandemic. They will forget what's happening at the school, that they don't see their friends, that what's happening at home. So if you create something extremely comfortable for them and comforting for the time of the virtual training, you will reach your goal as the leader of that virtual training. So Gilles, would you like to complete?
So just to complement this, I'm going to ask Marina to remove her hat so all
Oh,
of you feel
yeah,
more comfortable.
you're
You know,
right.
if you're so stern and you have a hat on and you look perfect, people are going to think, oh my, I don't want to turn on my video because I don't look perfect. Or maybe I'm sitting in my bed or on my couch or there's people going around me. So what we're trying to say is be more lenient, be more understanding of people's reality. You know, if there's a dog that jump on the person, well, they're at home. They don't control everything. So it's important to be more lenient, more accepting of folks. And you know, if you create that climate where people feel accepted and understood and not be criticized because what's in the back of their screen, then it makes it that much better. And they want to be online with you and they want more of it, right?
And they feel more welcome. So let's talk about how we feel welcome when we come to a virtual training. I would say one of the trick is to give a minute of glory to all your cadets, the senior, the junior ranks. When they come online, you can take the presence. Yes, you do the login, I guess. This is how you call it. But give them a minute of glory. So then they will feel important. They will feel desired, you know, that you wait for them. They will feel accepted, and this feeling of belonging is extremely important for them because it's part of the basic needs in life. Feeling part of the team, the feeling of belonging, it's one of the basic Maslow pyramid basic needs. If you haven't never learned about that, you can Google it. It's Maslow, MASLOW, and just you're going to learn about the basic needs in life, which is not only to eat and go to bed. There is something else to do in life. It's the feeling of belonging, and then it becomes the feeling of accomplishment later on in life. And I wish for you that you understand you have to create that for your cadets. So, Gilles, would you like to compliment on it?
That's the perfect transition to our next point, Marina. So if you don't have time to give people their minute of glory during the first presentation, we're talking now about break time. So if you had about a 15-minute presentation, which were what we're encouraging, not long presentation, short presentation, now you're going on a 15-minute break. Now, during the 15-minute breaks, now you could have time for people to break out in small virtual room with a senior cadet always in each of the rooms. So if you're 100 and you break out in 5 different breakout room, now you have a senior cadet in each room, and you kind of give ahead of time these senior cadet a bit of a task. Ask the cadet what they did that was fun during the past week. Share with us a moment that made you happy, and then make a little vote which one was most interesting and what you want to convey with the larger group after that. So one of the tasks could be one of the junior cadet come back and present to the larger group about what you found that was very interesting. So you broke the ice during that break time. You allow them their minute of special time for themselves. You allow them to feel more comfortable. And now they're going to a bigger group, but they already tried it. So now they're talking to the bigger group with confidence because you were very accepting in the smaller group. And you know, you make them feel more comfortable, and you give them a role. They feel wanted, they feel accepted, and they gain confidence. And you know, you all remember when you were 12 years of age, and when you went from junior school to high school. You were the tallest, now you're the shortest. The same happened when you joined the cadet. Oh my God, are they gonna accept me? Or you know, you're short, you're unsure of yourself, and all of a sudden people receive you with open arms. Virtually, we have to create the same climate. We need to get these cadets to feel welcome, a warm welcome, and have their place and have a chance to talk. I was online with my CO uh, last night actually, and I asked the junior cadet what was important with them. They want to be wanted, they want to be listened to, they want to have people to aspire to be. You know, in these breakout room, there's always somebody that connects more with them, that they now become their mentor and their goal to aspire to be. So think that way, and we're going to keep our juniors with us, and it's going to be creating a climate that's outstanding for the future.
Yes. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Gilles. You know, the training, don't try to do an hour straight without any pause. You're going to lose them. So a 15 minutes, a very strong 15 minutes, and then you go in breakout room. This is how you call it, Gilles. And I will encourage personally something that they move. Some sports, some jumping jack, some setup, some push up, or whatever you can do. If it's at the end of training, I encourage people to go outside, go for a walk and count the steps, to do a 10,000 steps challenge with them. Try to make them move, because a cadet will come to the program to move and not to come virtually. And we have to kind of amalgamate some sports into something which must be virtually. But we can improvise and make them move, because we need to create with the cadets an environment which is different than the school. The cadet program, the cadet corps, were meant to make them move and do activity and do sports and everything. And now with the virtual, because of the COVID, we can't do it actually. So we have to improvise, and you can include that in your virtual training. So they come back at the end, and it can be a mix of playing games, the electronic games, online games, do a little bit of push-ups and exchange, and gave the floor for the youngest one to have some exchange, gave some challenge to your cadets. I like to give them homework and ask them to step back and think, especially if they debate, why am I going back I don't even know the reason why I go back to cadets in a virtual environment. So I make people reflect sometimes on the reason what brought them to the cadets corps, and what will keep them are the same reason, because they have developed between 30 and 40 competencies while they are with cadets, and I want them to reflect on them. And sometimes I would say, I'm giving you an homework tonight, or next week I will come back. And I will come back and I will check if you have done the homework. If you can reflect on it, it can be any suggestion, like Gilles gave you some, present somebody, and you can. So I just want to tell you, if you do it, you're going to give them the desire to come the week after. And this is engaging the cadet to be fidèle, to be coming week after week and have the desire to come back. And this is absolutely important, because you don't want a cadet who never come back the week after. So would you like to complete some information, Gilles?
So the next point that we had, Marina, is to be competent. And I'll let you start that one, because I'm going to tie competency with keeping it simple to a point that you start with. And I think we can complement each other really, really well on a live experience.
You're right. So I just talked about how to keep it short. You know, when we talk about the 15 minutes period are better than too long. I will talk now about keep it simple. So you have to be competent at what you're doing, but keep it simple. Do not use sophisticated and complicated appliance or medium platform where you're going to lose your cadets. Especially the one who don't have access to it. Let's say you start with a platform in the middle, because it happened last week with General Commandant, who was invited to a cadet corps. One of the junior cadets was really engaged with Commodore Kurtz, and very encouraged and very happy to be able to interact with her. And suddenly, they brought a tool which is called Kahoo. Gilles is going to talk to you about that. And they lost the cadet completely. He was not able to log, was not able to play. And then when you lose the cadet like this, it's very difficult to keep the engagement. So Gilles, you have an anecdote about that.
I can tell you, Marina, I lived it. So I didn't know about Kahoot it. So that's a little program that's online that you can log in with a PIN number, and everybody joins. And it's very simple when you know how to use it. The thing is, what people may not know or may not have the ability is to have a second screen or to have a telephone on the side where they start the application Kahoot and put the PIN number and be able to join online. My telephone too goes dark when a few seconds goes by. So for every time the next question comes in, it goes dark. I cannot answer the question because I will unlock my phone again. So there's little things that you need to learn. And right now we're fully involved with new platform, and we have to remember that our junior cadet, I'm an adult and I felt left out. I felt stupid because I could not log in and answer quickly those questions that were posed to me, because I was more worried about how to join and how to fight my telephone than to answer the question. So if you compare that to a 12, 13-year-old junior cadet that's trying to fit in and find their place and feel accepted, it could become very awkward. A tool that's outstanding for people to join in and feel good and answer and feel great, but that few people that don't connect well, and it could be for different reasons too. It could be a senior cadet that in his region, they don't have internet. They are only on the phone. It could be a cadet that doesn't have the mean to have that kind of internet high speed. So whatever you do, keep it simple, make sure it's engaging. And if you have to do something separate with certain cadet that it's only on the phone, please make an effort to keep them engaged and think about them, right? It's very important.
Yes. And I would complete what you just said, Gilles, which was excellent. I just want to say, remember that leadership is not only to be in charge of a group, it's taking care of that group. So which exclude exclusion. You want to create some inclusion. You want to be innovator. But in the way you innovate, sometimes if you bring tools that nobody can use, only you and the most expert, the master subject expert in the room, it creates exclusion. So be careful what you do. You're better to keep it simple, keep it short, and to be able to engage your people and keep them engaged. Our last point, unless you wanna complete this point, Gilles.
There was something that I wanted to talk
Oui.
about being competent and prepared about pre-recording yourself. You know, we have means now. Back in the days, you and I were looking at each other in the mirror and seeing how we were placed and how professional we looked. We were kind of questioning ourselves, but now people have an ability to do like we're doing tonight and record their performance online. And what it allows to you to do if you're the presenter is to rewatch or see again what you have pre-recorded for an evening. If you're not able to be there in person, but you still do a presentation, and you're able to look at your performance and maybe change some of the word that you do, maybe think about your body language, be more inviting, put your hat aside. There could be all kinds of reasons why you adjust how you do your presentation virtually. And that is part of being competent and practice your presentation. So we ourselves have done it today. We've done 4 presentations, 2 in French and now 2 in English, just to make sure that what we're doing comes out really good, right?
And you forget that we have been practicing for the last 4 hours. So I just want to say, practice makes it perfect. Don't forget that as well. So if I may, we will come back to the 3 objectives, because I want you to master your 3 objectives. We wish you repeat them along the way, and you paraphrase at the end. What I mean by paraphraser, don't forget to conclude by repeating what was your goal at the beginning. So I will ask Gilles to say, what was your goal at the beginning?
Be interesting. Keep it short. Make sure your cadet want to come back. Because
Yes.
you know, if you miss those 3 objectives, we didn't teach you nothing today. So we hope that you took some of what we taught you today.
And I will conclude the same way, but not the same word. Why we like it, Gilles and myself working together, because we discover we are complementary, but we are not the same person. We are 2 different individuals with 2 different leadership styles. So the way I perceived the 3 objectives was put the table, in the right way. So you smile, you have your platform, you open your camera, you're ready, you're welcoming, you're patient with your cadets. Then you don't forget your role to create something fun and that they forget what's happening outside about the pandemic. During that comfort times, they feel safe and they feel inspired by you. And then they want to come back next week, and you create an engagement by giving them a little bit of homework, a little bit of reflection, a little bit food. I like the expression food for thought. You ask them to reflect, and so the next week you gave some openness during in the breakout room to share what they have reflect of. So you create a link with them that they are not going to destroy. So would you like to compliment, Gilles?
You remember what we said at the beginning? Your goal is to make them forget in 15 minutes that there is a COVID situation happening.
Yes,
If
yes.
you achieve that by using the 3 objectives, you have mastered what we are presenting to you today. So there's 80 years of experience in front of you. We are humble and proud. And when we listen to our cadets online and we listen to you, and some of you are outstanding presenter, it re-energizes us. It shows us that you are doing everything that we teach you. And we're so proud and humble to be part of this.
Yeah, Gilles is right. We have shared with you a few tools, a few tricks in order for you to have maybe some idea how to do it differently. Because of course there is a fatigue virtual fatigue these days. And so I hope you can take some tricks. You can improve, or you can update your communication skill in a virtual environment. And I'm telling you that we are waiting, if you want, some invitation to see what you have learned from what we have shared with you, with a lot, and I repeat, with a lot of humility we have shared our expertise with you today. So thank you. And I will leave the last word to Gilles.
I would like to wish you well when you do your presentation. I'm sure you will be successful, that you will use the nuggets that we've shared with you, and that you will do well for your cadet. And you know, we're making the leaders of the future for Canada, so don't never forget that. Thank you so much for listening to us.
Thank you. Good luck.